If you're looking for an awesome product at a great price, be sure to check out the link in the description. The daughter of a woman murdered in a 1994 robbery speaks out, highlighting not only the enduring pain of her family's loss but also a critical breach of due process. Birte Pfleger, now a history professor at California State University, Los Angeles, recounts the tragic events that unfolded during her parents' visit from Germany. Thongxay Nilakout, the perpetrator, a Laotian national, shot and killed Gisela Pfleger, Birte's mother, while injuring her father, Klaus. This horrific crime, committed during a sightseeing trip, irrevocably altered the course of the Pfleger family's lives. 31 years later, the shadow of that day continues to loom large. Nilakout's recent deportation to South Sudan, along with 7 other convicted criminals from various countries, has reignited a fierce debate about U.S. immigration policies under the Trump administration. The controversial move, shrouded in secrecy and legal challenges, raises profound questions about due process and the treatment of deportees sent to nations other than their own. The 8 men, described as sickos by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, were flown to Juba, the capital of South Sudan, on July 4, their whereabouts since remaining undisclosed. A South Sudanese police spokesperson, Maj Gen James Monday Inoka, suggested the men may face further deportation, contingent on investigation and verification of their nationality. However, concrete details remain scarce, adding to the shroud of uncertainty surrounding their fate. The deportation faced immediate legal hurdles. U.S. District Judge Brian Murphy initially blocked the move, ruling that the men were entitled to notice and due process, including the opportunity to express fears of harm or torture in their destination country. However, the Supreme Court overturned this decision in a 7-2 ruling, clearing the path for the Trump administration's controversial plan. This decision followed the issuance of a memo by Todd Lyons, Acting Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, authorizing the deportation of migrants to third countries with as little as 6 hours' notice, even without assurances of safety. This policy change has sparked outrage among legal experts and human rights organizations. The National Immigration Litigation Alliance, leading a class action lawsuit against ICE, vowed to continue fighting the policy, citing conflicts with statute, regulations, and the Constitution. The UN Human Rights Office echoed these concerns, publicly denouncing the action and urging the U.S. to halt deportations to third-party countries. The organization pointed to numerous alarming cases, including the deportation of over 250 Venezuelans to an El Salvadoran prison and the plight of other groups deported to Panama and Eswatini, highlighting a pattern of alleged human rights violations. The UN's statement underscores a clear violation of international law, emphasizing the prohibition of sending individuals to locations where they face substantial risk of serious human rights abuses. Nilakout, who was 17 at the time of the crime, initially received a life sentence without parole. However, following a 2012 Supreme Court ruling that deemed life without parole unconstitutional for minors, he became eligible for parole in 2022 and was released the following year. His release and subsequent deportation, caught in the Trump administration's mass deportation initiative, are at the heart of Pfleger's current concerns. She acknowledges conflicting emotions, expressing a desire for Nilakout to be held accountable, yet emphasizing the violation of his due process rights. Pfleger's testimony underscores a profound legal and ethical dilemma, highlighting the agonizing conflict between justice for victims and the preservation of fundamental human rights. Her statement underscores the critical need for transparency, accountability, and adherence to legal processes in deportation matters. The ongoing instability in South Sudan, marked by the threat of renewed civil war, further complicates the situation, casting a long shadow over the lives of the deported men and the families who remain affected by the repercussions of the U.S.'s actions. South Sudan's government, while citing historical U.S. support, has not provided assurances regarding the deportees' safety and welfare. Reports of food insecurity, internal displacement, and a looming humanitarian crisis paint a grim picture of the challenges facing the 8 men in their current, undisclosed location. The German government, mindful of its citizens' plight, has also expressed concerns over the situation, publicly warning of renewed conflict and instability in South Sudan. The Pfleger family's enduring grief, coupled with the legal and humanitarian crisis